Today is a great day. Let me clean that. Today is a great day, a special day. We are finishing the parking space of the pavers. We're not doing the rest of the yard. Still a work in progress. But the spot that started it all, been waiting to bring the camper home, and this is the day. But for you to fully appreciate the epic journey to get to this point, let's start from the beginning. Today, we're out in the backyard, or as I call it, the oasis. It doesn't look like an oasis yet, but it's gonna someday. Oh, that poor dumb guy. He really thought he was just gonna rake some dirt and put some bricks down and have himself a nice little patio. Oh, he had no idea what was in store for him. No. So the first thing to do in this area is fix the gate. It's got issues. The posts aren't straight. The boards are kind of warped. The cross beams, whatever you call them, they're even a little twisted. The whole thing's a little cattywampus. So I got to try and straighten that out so that I can get at least a straight line along the ground and figure out where I want the pavers to go. Now we have our space. I know that I want the pavers to be even with the patio on the patio side, and I know that I want the pavers to be even underneath the gate, even though the gate's technically movable. And then there's drainage grading. It needs to come slightly away from the house. It needs to come slightly away from the wall. I want it to drain down out the gate because the street's right there. I got a handful of paver bricks from the store just so I can kind of lay them out, start to figure out how deep we need to do this. Let's talk about the pavers themselves. What is supposed to happen to put down pavers? Pavers 101. All right, this is the ground, and there's a little house, or in this case, Uncle Benny's garage, and it's sitting here on the ground. And we want to make a parking space next to it. So the first thing we got is our bricks, and the bricks will be there. Underneath the bricks, we got a layer of sand, and then underneath the sand is gravel. And the gravel is there. Now the gravel is your paver base, all right? And it can be thinner or thicker depending on what you're doing. If you're somewhere that freezes really bad, the Midwest or the East Coast, especially for a parking space, it's supposed to be deeper, as much as 12, 14 inches easy. Out here in Las Vegas, we don't get a lot of groundwater freezing. Doesn't stay cold for very long. So I'm only doing about 5 inches, between 4 and 6 inches. Now above that is the sand, and the sand is just 1 inch, and it's for leveling out the blocks. Now the blocks themselves are 2 inches deep. So now we got 6, 7, 8, 9 inches on average. So I just dug out pretty much the depth of the shovel, and we parked the happy little camper. And that'll be great. So we start digging, and there's a lot of it. Digging this dirt is like concrete. You have to chisel through the top layer to get down, and I had to do about a foot down of this whole area. It's taken me a little while. There's layers you have to break through. I ended up using a drill, like a 1/2-inch hammer drill, to try and break it up. I ended up using like an air chisel, hammering on it. I had an axe I was trying to smash it with. It was nuts. There's a lot of digging. You end up with a lot of dirt. I have all this dirt. What do I do with all this dirt? It's the Sunrise Mountain Range in my backyard. There's so much dirt. Then, in the middle of all the digging, Las Vegas had a hurricane. Yep, that's right. We got water, and the whole situation out there became fluid. Now, one thing that happened from all the water is that all that warped wood on the gate swelled up and became all super wonky again, so I had to trim that down. The other thing that happened is that after a couple of days of soaking, all that concrete-like dirt out there got a little softer and it was a little bit easier to shovel for a few days. That was great. It was like a gift from the heavens. So great. Things are finally moving along. No, we had to stop now that we got it dug out and deal with the wall. Now, we knew the wall needed some love. We've known that since we first looked at the place, all right? All the contractors I called to come out and look at it and tell me what it needed, nobody ever called me back. So here I am. Now I need to take care of it or I can't move forward with the pavers. A little bit of online research, a little bit of Googling, a little bit of talking to the guys at the hardware store about concrete repair. We removed all the debris from the damaged parts of the bottom of the wall, used some concrete repair products to either replace or repair the damaged areas, went over the whole thing. Eventually, the wall's probably going to get painted or something, but not for a while. I didn't do a video on the wall repair, mostly because I didn't really know the flow of it until most of the way through. Plus, there's a whole nother section of the wall that's going to be the same way when we get to the back side of the yard. If I'm going to do a video about it, I'll do it then when I can really wrap my head around the project. Here's what it looks like at this point, done with the repair. Now that the bottom's fixed, we can continue on with the pavers. Then, while digging, I also found this pipe that was buried in the ground. I think it was the bottom of, maybe there used to be like a chain link fence across there, and it was one of the things. There was a lot of concrete around it, but luckily it was deep enough that it didn't interfere. I just had to cut it off. So, pipe's gone, back to work. We're gonna finish this thing. Not quite. We've dug far enough back now that we've hit the old irrigation lines that are busted up and go through where we're working. So I have to deal with that before we can continue. It doesn't look like an oasis yet, but it will someday. Specifically today, we're working on irrigation, and we're also running some pipes for future electric service for the camper and over by the fire pit area. Let's recap. Here's what's been happening. Had to fix the gate a couple of times. Dug out this whole area, because we're going to do pavers here so the camper can live here. Call this the campground. The wall has some issues, and when I dug down the whole bottom layer of it, the bricks are starting to deteriorate. So I had to fix that. Don't worry, I'll show you more of that when I get to the next section. There's also a spot where somebody drove into the wall a long time ago, and I gotta fix that. But this area, once I finally got it dug out deep enough to start leveling for the pavers, my buddy, because he thought I needed more work, gave me the awesome suggestion of running electrical conduit over so I'd have a convenient place to plug the camper in. Thanks, Mikey! And then while I'm doing that, and while I'm running the lines for the sprinkler system, I'm going to run one this way as well, in case in the future I want any power out in the yard somewhere. And those are just going to stay empty for now until we see what has to happen to make those a thing. Today we're focusing on sprinkler valves. I'm just replacing the old ones that were cut and kind of smashed up in here. The PVC from the front yard where the water supply is broken at one point. I have to fix that. I'm going to flush this all out before I connect the new valves. Make sure there's no dirt in there. And then I'm going to run new PVC underneath where the pavers are going to be so that I don't have to dig that back up later. And that's today on Uncle Benny's Garage. To get the electrical conduit close to the wall where it's going to come up, I had to grind and knock out some of the concrete base that was right there next to the wall so I could get it in there. While we're knocking out concrete, I also had to do a spot around the fence post because the pavers are going to go right up to it. There's a lot of concrete. It goes down a ways. Taking some of it away isn't going to hurt anything. You'd think for as much concrete as they put there, they could have got that post straight. Hey, want to see what it's like to be working in super hot weather and bent over and dripping sweat if you wear glasses? That's what it looks like. Remember when I said there's also a spot where somebody drove into the wall a long time ago? Well, now it's time to deal with it. I did make a whole separate episode on fixing the hole in the wall. All right, we're getting a lot closer to finishing the paver project, but before we can go much farther on that, we got to address this wall. There's a hole in the wall. If you're interested in seeing all the details of that, go back and watch that episode. It's the episode where the picture is me sitting in front of the wall holding a cinder block. Now that the wall is fixed, we can finally move forward. Remember back when I was talking about the paver base? Well, now we're sifting dirt. So I'm reading the ingredients of the paver base that you can buy online. And it is 3/8 inch crushed gravel, gravel dust, whatever that is, and sand. I thought sand was gravel dust. But that's it. Guess what? My entire yard is covered in because someone thought that would be good, cheap landscaping. 3/8 inch crushed gravel and dust and sand. Sifting the dirt solves a few problems for me. One, I get a bunch of the trash that's in there. Second, I got all this dirt I don't know what to do with. Third, I need this gravel, and it's full of it. So it's win-win-win. I get what I need, I get rid of some of that, we clean it up. Yay! It was a lot of shoveling, it was a lot of sifting, a lot of raking, a lot of spreading, a lot of smoothing. Now I can finish filling in this area with the gravel. And then after that, you gotta tamp it all down so it's good and solid. It was a lot of tamping too. Tamper tantrum! So we're checking our grades one last time, all around. I think we're ready. We fixed the fence, we fixed the wall, we fixed the fence again, we fixed the wall again. We sifted, we shoveled, we raked, we graded, we tamped for days. We're ready.
Hey boss, you want me to do 2 and 2? 2
and 2?
Yeah, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pallet for you.
bricks. A lot of bricks. And that's all we have time for on this episode. I know, I wanted it to be one episode. I also wanted this done 2 months ago. We don't always get that. Plus, I'm pretty sure I put part 1 on the thumbnail, so you knew what you were getting into. Next time, we're going to lay some bricks. It's going to be awesome. I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Yay! Campers coming home. Campers coming home. Campers coming home. Now we're going to do camper projects. After we finish all the yard stuff and house stuff, garage stuff, patio stuff.